Welcome to this presentation on research resources for religious studies from the Webster University Library on the home campus in St. Louis, Missouri. My name is Kathy Gaynor, and I'm the library's liaison to Webster University's Religious Studies Department. Please feel free to get in touch with me if I can be of assistance to you as you go through your religious studies program here at Webster. In this presentation, I want to provide a brief overview of the resources and services available to you through the Webster University Library. I'll also cover how to obtain materials from the library and get assistance if you have any questions or encounter any difficulties. Webster University's Department of Religious Studies has put together a guide to the types of academic resources you will need to use for your program. It emphasizes materials from reputable sources, such as academic journal and book publishers. If you have questions about an assignment and the resources it requires, please ask your instructor. In your program, you will want to rely on academic or scholarly journals instead of popular magazines and newspapers. Many scholarly journals are peer-reviewed, which means their articles have been evaluated by outside experts or peers before they're accepted for publication. This process helps to produce a high level of quality that makes these journals valuable to researchers and students. To locate these scholarly journals, let's begin at the library homepage at library.webster.edu. Click on the large blue Research Guides button in the middle of your screen. Research guides bring together essential tools for helping you find journal articles, books, and other materials. For most of your courses, you'll want to begin in religious studies, but don't overlook other academic areas as well. Religious studies can overlap with a variety of disciplines. Let's click the link to Religious Studies. Under Religious Studies, you'll find a list of related research guides. Starting at the top, the Guide for New Religious Studies Students is a helpful place to start for students new to the department's programs. That guide is followed by some that focus on major world religions. And some guides further down the list are customized to help you find resources for a particular course. As an example, let's take a look at the guide for the Ecology and Spirituality course. On the Ecology and Spirituality Research Guide, you see a series of blue tabs along the left under which you'll find information on finding books, articles, and other materials. Many of these same tabs will be found on the other religious studies guides. Note that the tab at the bottom called Department Guides will link you to resources provided by the Religious Studies Department. This is where you'll find the Academic Resources Guide that we saw earlier. Make sure you take a look at these handouts during your program. Further down on the left is my contact information, should you need assistance. Let's see how we might begin a research assignment by using an actual example. Do religions differ in their approaches to going green or other environmental issues? This is a rather broad topic given the large number of religions in the world. You might want to read a few journal articles and then think about narrowing your focus, perhaps comparing just a couple of religions in depth. To find scholarly articles on our topic, we can return to the Ecology and Spirituality Guide and click the tab on the left for journal articles. On that page, you see on the right a list of core databases for finding articles. The primary database for religious studies is the ATLA Religion Database, produced by the American Theological Library Association. This database covers a variety of journals and other materials on all aspects of the discipline. The other databases listed are good complements to the ATLA one and may prove helpful for this topic. I'll click the link to the ATLA database to begin. When you click on a database title to begin your search, this screen will appear. You will need to log in to access any of our databases. Here's the opening screen for the ATLA database. To search for our topic, first I determine some related keywords or phrases and put each one in a separate search box. You don't need to fill in all three boxes. If you only need one or two, that's fine. And you can always go back and revise your search. I use the word "or" to provide the computer with an alternative to the word "green" by adding the word "environment." Adding a synonym or alternative keyword broadens your search and usually increases the number of results. Notice the word "and" that appears at the left between each search box. This tells the computer to combine what is in each box. So in this example, the computer will look for articles that mention the word religions and either the word green or the word environment or both. If you scroll down the screen from the search boxes, you'll usually see a number of optional limiters for customizing your search. The choices will differ depending on the database you're using. I usually recommend that you only use a few because the more limits you put on your search, the fewer the articles you're going to find. Be careful about using the full text option. This limits your retrieval to just those articles linked directly from this database. Setting this limit is fine when you just need a couple of articles, but shouldn't be used when you're doing a large project and trying to do a comprehensive search. Later we'll see how you can obtain a journal article for free if we don't happen to have access to it online. If you decide not to set any limits before you do your search, you can always set them after you get your results. Limit options will appear on the left side of the screen in many of our databases. Here's a record for a journal article retrieved by our search. Notice the subjects assigned to this article circled in red. Here you may be able to find alternative search terms to add to your search. In our example, we could go back to our search box and add the word ecology. We would write green or environment or ecology in a search box to give the computer another term to use in our search. A database may have a direct link to the full text of the article. In other cases, you will see the article linker message. Click the article linker link to find out how you may obtain a copy of this particular article. Clicking Article Linker in this example displays a screen which indicates that the article is not available online but is sitting on the shelf at the Webster University Library here on the home campus. On the left side of the screen, you see information indicating specific locations in the building where you can find this journal. If you're in the St. Louis area, you may come to the library and photocopy or scan the article. On the right side of the page, you'll see a Request It Here option for students and faculty outside of the St. Louis area or in online programs. We'll see in a second what happens when you click the Request It Here button. Finally, here's an example of a journal that we don't have access to. You would need to press the blue Request It Here button to send in a request for it. In both of the last two examples, clicking the Request It Here button will take you to our journal request software. Here you see that the software transfers the information about the article you want into its request form. You would then submit the request right from the screen. Note that if this is the first time you've used this service, the software will ask you to register, which takes only a few seconds. We will order the article for you, and sends you an email when it's available. A link will allow you to log into our Journal Request software and retrieve your article. You will click the Electronically Received Articles link to the left under View to go to a page where you'll see the article you requested. Note that most articles come within 2 to 3 business days, Monday through Friday. Make sure you watch for our email and then go in and retrieve your article once you've been notified that it's available. We can only keep articles for 30 days before we delete them. The library pays all costs for this service, so no additional charges are passed on to you. If you decide to cite an article in your paper or project, you'll need to do so using APA style developed by the American Psychological Association. Many library databases have information that will help you format the reference correctly. In the ATLA database, click the article title to go to the detailed record for that article. Then click the Cite link on the right of the screen. Clicking Cite will open a citation format window, and you'll see how to format the citation for your article using various bibliographic styles. Scroll down until you see the APA example. It's important to note that sometimes the database citation shown can have mistakes. It's fine to copy and paste the reference into your notes or your paper, but make sure you go through and correct any mistakes before submitting your work. On all of the Religious Studies research guides, there is a Writing and Citing tab on the left. On that page, you'll find a link to information about APA style. Webster's Department of Religious Studies has also created a guide with information on citation. On the blue column to the left, click the Department Guides link. Then on the page that appears, click Citation Guide. We've just seen how to find academic journal articles. Now let's turn our attention to books and see how you can find books for your projects. In all of the Religious Studies research guides, you'll see a blue tab on the left for books. Let's look at the links circled on the screen. The second link, Find an Electronic Book on a Topic, limits the search to just those books available from our library in electronic format. The first link, Search for Books in the Library Catalog, includes both books in electronic format as well as traditional books sitting on our shelves. Let's use that first link to find some examples in the library catalog. Here's a book available in electronic format. You can tell by the icon or symbol to the left directly above the book's title. You also see that the location is given as Webster Eden Internet Access and that the call number includes the word ebook. To access this book, click on the title. Here's an example of a traditional book. You can see that the location provides the floor in the library here on the main campus on which the book can be found, as well as the call number. To the right, the status is Available, which means the book is available for checkout. If you're in the St. Louis area, you may come to the library and get the book off the shelf yourself. Then take it to the main desk on the first floor for checkout. If you're not in the St. Louis area, click the Borrowing Materials tab on any of the Religious Studies research guides for more information. If you're in the United States, we can send you most books. If you're outside of the United States, we can't send you the actual book, but may be able to scan a chapter or two for you. Click the Request Books or Articles link for more information. Webster students are not limited to just the books found in our catalog. In the library catalog, there is a link to Mobius, a catalog of books and materials owned by colleges and universities in the state of Missouri. You may search Mobius and request books from a library in the state. And if a book you need is not available in Missouri, we can try and find it at other U.S. libraries through a service called Interlibrary Loan. And just to repeat for our students outside of the United States, we can't send you the actual book, but maybe be able to scan a chapter or two for you. The Request Articles and Books page will provide step-by-step instructions for students at any of our campuses or online programs worldwide. Besides the Religious Studies Research Guides, you may also access this page from our library homepage. Hover your mouse or cursor over the word Services in the gold menu bar at the top. Then in the menu that displays below, click the link to Request Articles and Books. Let's end by discussing how to get assistance as you work on your assignment. To get help from a librarian, contact me or click on the blue Contact a Librarian button in the middle of the screen. On the left, you'll see ways that you can contact a Webster University librarian. Be sure to use the toll-free 800 number or email if you're outside of the St. Louis area. Note that our chat service is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, except for selected U.S. holidays. Thank you for spending time with me today. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions about this presentation or need assistance with your religious studies assignment.